Consuming versus living. Today I would like to talk to you about something that's very powerful and might free you up a lot. Let's talk about consuming versus living. Have you realized that we live in a 24/7 consumption world? I think you do. Anywhere you go, whatever you do, I challenge you to consider one thing. How long does it take you from the first to the next point where you see a commercial, hear one on the radio, TV, drive by and see a poster, open up the newspaper and see something that is trying to sell you something? It's going to be quite astounding. Do it right now. When this session is done, go outside, walk around. You will realize it is amazing, literally almost per second or minute, how many times you get a buy this and buy that message. We know that, right? And here's the interesting part. We take it for granted. Isn't that normal? Isn't that how it should be? No. Let's take a quick historical step back. Today, I really want to help you, to encourage you to actually become financially free. And that gives you emotional freedom of choice. Today's world is set up into one single system. You need to consume, because consuming will make you happy. Have this, and when you achieve that, well, you have to have some more. And this car is not enough, you need the next car. Funny enough, you run and run and run, and you have the car, and you get some more, and you're never gonna get there somehow. What happened? Very simple. 100 years ago, we had something called the First World War. During and before the First World War, consumerism was unknown. People were very thrifty. You fixed your shoes, you fixed your pants. Even we know it. 30, 40 years ago, you went to the cobbler and fixed your shoes. It's very hard to find a cobbler nowadays. And here is how this whole thing switched. After the First World War, the Americans won the war. Why? By producing. The big production lines, Ford, they started mass manufacturing. And because of that, they were able to win the war because they had more materials than the other parties in the war. Now the wonderful thing is they win the war is finished, and now the Americans looked around and said, we've got all these huge factories and we've got a huge problem, which today seems ridiculous. Who will buy all this stuff? Why? Because the population was fully thrifty. They never overspent. They didn't have debts. As a matter of fact, having debts in the 1910s and 20s was a dirty thing. You were actually looked down upon in society if you had debts. If you think about today, debt, sure, everybody's got debt. No, that's not natural. And then came something fantastic. The industrialists that people have to buy. They caught in a guy called Eddie Bernays. Eddie Bernays was a nephew of Sigmund Freud. And he had studied psychology from his uncle. And he says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make people desire more. And so this is the founding hour of something called PR, public relations. To convince people that they would only be worthy, free, happy if they had more. And by today, the problem is that if you do not keep up with the Joneses, right? They say keep up with the neighbors or the Joneses, and they've got this car, and they've got that vacation, and you have to go. And people go like, I feel so unworthy, so starved. And they will say, you deserve a vacation, and you need that, and be happy. And there's always orders. There's even a shop called Accessorize. It's like an order. It's very strange. It's very funny. You're like, don't order me to buy something. The trick here is this. You do not have to compete. Step back, make yourself a financial plan, how much you want to put away. And the fact is this, money is nothing but your freedom of choice. The interesting thing is watch your neighbors for the next 10 years. Spend on whatever they want to spend. And then you watch your bank account grow. And I only buy in outlet stores. I have no shame about that. Why? Why am I sharing this with you? When you go to a nice store, you choose the brand, you're actually only buying this wonderful glossy carton bag. The rest in there you can actually get in an outlet store for the right price. Step out. Stop competing with the Joneses. It's a again, you will never win. It's a complete loser's game. Your money is your freedom, and understand one thing. This system was set up to force us to feel bad if we didn't have what the neighbors had. Look at your bank account, put money in there. 10 years later, the neighbors, the Joneses, will still be in debt with a nice car, and you will be free. Welcome to your freedom.